Hello, Blakeheart here. I know it's been like about a week. I was going to come back in a few days and do a beat making video with Magnetic Coast, and I had some business travel. It didn't quite happen, but here we are today on Super Bowl Sunday, and it is happening. I've really just spent a lot of time lately making music. I had some time to myself this past weekend and made a bunch of songs and just kept making beats, and I feel like I'm just slowly just like getting to the place where I want to be, and pretty excited about it. So we're gonna make a beat today, but I made this other one here, so I'm gonna let you listen to it. It's pretty psyched about it. So this was just a pattern I found somewhere. I can't tell you where all this stuff came from. It's not all from Magnetic Coast. Laid out this in Nexus. Added this little perk thing. Pulled this loop somewhere out of Maschine expansion. This sound you hear is from Analog Lab. This one is from Diva. Add a little bass. Came from Nexus. And I don't actually think I put anything in here. Did I? Yeah, I did. I put pads in. A little texture. And what was this? Oh, I was playing around with that. I don't know what I was doing with that. I think that was like a loop that I started with. I like it. I'm gonna end this. Slowly taking everything out. And that little texture is just like it's like this little thing going on in the background, but it just adds a little something. I felt like those are the chords, and that was fun. I made that. I did not arrange it yet, but it was fun. So let's make a beat today. And I've been thinking about this like more and more. And in that I'm working in Maschine. I don't know what I changed, but I'll save it just in case. I don't know. I've been working in Maschine a lot, and I don't necessarily use the hardware as much as I should be. I'm still trying to get myself to use it. But I just think that Maschine is absolutely brilliant for somebody that wants to get out there and they just want to make music. And I don't know, I feel like there's this emphasis by a lot of people about how you have to learn music theory and do your time and understand like how everything relates to one another. But what I don't understand is if there are tools that allow you to jump in and just start making music and having fun, like why not use them? You know, this is just how I've been my whole life. I know when I started DJing, I think I actually started on CDs, and that was frowned upon back in the day. And then I went to vinyl and learned how to mix on vinyl. And it's like everybody felt like you had to be a vinyl head or you just weren't a DJ. But I chose to take a different path, and I started using Tractor DJ, which back at that time, I think it was like called Tractor Studio, and you could not use vinyl. That came in a later time. You could not use CDs to manipulate or control your tracks. You literally were using a computer, and this is back in the day when there was no controllers either, so you just had your computer in front of you. And I embraced that technology because I felt like it made me a better DJ. I was able to carry a lot more songs with me. Point that I'm getting at is like, just embrace technology, man. You'll be so much happier, and just get going and just start making beats. So let's pull some technology into this today. And before I do this too, I just want to give a shout out. Am I going to use Scalar or am I going to use Mixed in Key? Let's use Mixed in Key, and we'll put in Captain Chords, because I think a lot of you people who are coming here to this channel are using Captain and all its magnificent features. So before we go into this, everything I've learned by watching YouTube videos, and it's amazing. It's an amazing day that we can, you know, for free, basically watch YouTube as long as we have internet, and we can learn so much stuff. I've learned a lot from MG the Future. I've learned a lot from CMP Productions. I've learned a lot just watching DDS make beats. There are a ton of other people that I'm not thinking of or mentioning right now that I've probably learned from. So I think it's important to give all those people who are making these really informative videos props for what they're doing, because they're allowing people like me to watch, suck all of that in and figure out how I'm going to use what I'm learning to, create my workflow or to make my own music. And it's such an amazing gift when people take that time to do that. So just wanted to call that out. And let's jump into Captain Chords. So just loaded Captain Chords up here into a sound. And when you hop into it, you have to pick what scale you want to be in. So what do we want? I've been doing a lot of major stuff lately. It's just been making me happy. So let's just hop into G major. And we'll go there and we will check things out. And so what I usually do is just sort of play around. And I listen to some chords to figure out how I want them to, I don't know, just what vibe I'm want to create right now. Start out with that G major. Let's add another one. That sounds, I like that. And I think what's so awesome is there's only so many chord progressions, right? And you could take something that you're like, oh yeah, this sounds good. But whatever you end up or what I feel I end up making melodies or, the drums that go along with it, it always sort of morphs into its own thing. And so it's so amazing to me that in music, you can start out with the same chords as some other song, let's say, because that sounds pretty this sounds like you've heard it a bunch of times. It's A minor, C major, D major. That is such a typical chord progression in so many songs, but we're going to do it, right? So from here, I'll just sort of show you my workflow. And I, at this point, just really want to get the chords down and figure out, okay, what are my chords going to be for this song? I could just drag it in here and then I'll actually just move it over. So I keep this going. If I can type. Actually call it Captain and I call it G major. I just really want to know where I'm at. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open another group here and I'm going to just drop, I'm going to copy this into here. And don't be a hater because I'm not using the hardware. That's the other thing. Don't feel so stressed that you got to learn how to use hardware, because the actual software that comes with Maschine is amazing too. And the fact that you can hop in this, at what is it? It's $279 to maybe $249 for a Maschine Micro, and just start going. Buy an expansion for $49, or I think you get a voucher when you buy your Micro. Get $25 off, so a voucher for $25. So you get your expansion half price. You really can just jump into doing fun things. Oh, and if I haven't plugged it yet, links are down below for both this expansion as well as the Maschine Micro. And if you use those links to go to the Native Instruments website and you buy anything there, they give me a little tip saying, hey, thank you for sending you their way. So thank you for using those links. It gives me motivation. It keeps me going. So I pulled this over and let's just work on, I guess, using sounds from, I'm so lucky, and I really don't take it for granted, but I feel so lucky that I have just so many sounds to work with, right? Not everyone does. And you don't need all of this stuff you see here, because sometimes I get comments from people oh, well, you just have so much stuff. You know what? You don't need it all. It's absolutely wonderful to have. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But this is not what you need to make music. So let me open up Massive here and let's dive into Magnetic Coast and the sounds that come for Magnetic Coast, which are presets mostly for Massive, I believe. So let's see what we had here, because there was definitely some stuff I really liked last time. I gotta silence. That's pretty cool. Also, I really don't want to make a song at 120 BPMs, so let's get down to like a sweet spot of like 97. Let's keep that. So I'll go ahead and I'll call that my pads. Next, if I want to do something fancy, I might hop into Toontrack to, oh my God, I'm so blanking today. You know, you're getting old when you can't remember things. So EZKeys. So I could hop into there, and I'll just show you this workflow because it's actually pretty cool. And we are going to use the magnetic coast, but obviously if I'm hopping into EZKeys, I can't use that. But in here, so what I would do is I would take the chords that I plugged into here, and I can see them because I know I use G major, A minor, C major, D major, right? And so in here, I'll name that keys. I can plug those chords in, right? So I can tell it I'm in G major, which we know. And then I can add these chords and plug them in. Let's plug in 4 chords here. And we know we started with G major, and I already forgot what I used. A minor, C major, D major. A minor, C major, D major. Right? That's what I told you. Let me double check. Yep. All right. So now I have these chords in EZKeys here, and I'm going to take and replace these with browser MIDI. So I'm just going to join them all together, merge them, and let's take a look at what's up here. So I've got a lot of MIDI packs here. Really, it's like they all just sort of have like different flavor to them, but it gives you an option to have a lot of stuff going on as usual, like I said. I'm actually going to change this so we can hear it a little better. Not everything translates well to EZKeys either. Let's look at chorus of this one. And this is modern pop. All right, I like that. So I'm going to replace that. So my chords magically turn into this. It's not quite magic, right? So let's call that, call that EZKeys and EZKeys. EZKeys. So see if I can drag this into here. I did. And then I'm going to copy it and put it elsewhere. It's over here. The whole idea is I just like, in case I want to change anything, I like keeping these other VSTs open. And then I usually just like drag them to the end here so they're out of my way. And then I'll keep them silenced. Oh, wrong one. All right, so now for the keys, I have to pick out a sound. I don't have a sound. So let's see if there's something here. And again, all of these right here they're massive presets that come with the magnetic coast expansion. It's a little much, right? Man, not crazy about it. Let's see. See how this works. Good work, right? Good work. So let's take this group, put a little swing here, put a little swing here. And actually one of the things I do, because as you start adding group upon group upon group, what you're going to find is, things are getting too loud. So I just have this really cheap plugin from Hornets. It's an auto gain type of plugin, and I just stick it on everything. I just stick it on everything, and that brings me down to like -6 at least. I don't know, but it works out well. So let's bring it down. And I'm doing this just because I love it. So CMP, he did a video about this plugin, and I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. I still don't know everything about it, but it's expensive. It's called Audio Ease, but it's just like this special sauce. And I just want to show you because I don't know, I've been putting on a lot of stuff, and I just feel like it's giving me this texture. And it basically, you've got all these choices. You can make your sound like old record players, speakers, amps, gramophones, mics, everything. It's absolutely amazing. So let's check it out and how we can change the sound a little bit. And it dropped a little bit in volume, so let's get it back up. And I usually don't use this full blown, so I'm gonna take this cover off and let's get ourselves one of these. And then you can pick out a mic, give it a little bit different feel. You could add a room. And all this gives it different type of feel. You can say it's a gramophone. I don't like the ticks, but if I take that off, I can add like the wow and the flutter. And then I like this Leslie thing. And then I don't have it all the way wet, although I'm getting something. This gain is up way too high. And it just sort of moves it to the back without having to EQ anything, and it's just really interesting. So we went so this is where we're at now. We're at this. Just puts it in a different place. I like it. All right, so we have our keys, we have our pads, and like, let's put together a melody. So we'll add another group here. And here's what's cool. So we know that we're in G major. So we're able to tell Maschine that we're in G major, and then everything we're going to play will be in G major. But now let's find another. I just said let's make a melody, but I guess what I meant was let's make a lead, because we use the keys, so we have this like thing going on, and so now I would add like another layer to this, so like another sort of like, I call it usually like a lead, but it's a melody. It's just like another piece of this creation, right? So I think people call them different things, but let's see what this is. All right, so I'm going to go over here and make sure that I tell Maschine what key I'm in, because it doesn't know yet, because I haven't had to, up until this point, tell it what I'm in. And I don't have a screen on this, so and I'm going to tell it I'm in G major, and now I'm in G major. I like that little sound. Octave down. basically, I mean, my whole thing is I just have fun. Just lay it down and have fun, right? This whole thing is about having fun. And remembering to set your patterns right. It's all a vibe. And then, like, sometimes I do stuff where I'm like, I didn't like that. I liked how it began with, but I didn't like how it ended. And see, this one I want to pull back because that was all off for me. So let's pull this over. I like that. All right. And then sometimes, like, I mean, you can keep going, right? It really depends how much you want to build out. That's the most difficult thing, is really knowing when to stop. I think that's why when you make more and more beats, you get a better idea of what components to put in. I mean, because I think, like, sometimes it gets to be too much. We're like, oh, you just want to keep adding, and then you're like, oh, gotta take things away. All right, so let's actually, I'm gonna take these 4 tops, go over here, let's lay something out here. Let's see what, let's bring us down. Let's see what this does. Ah! It's killer. Full velocity, of course. Let's move it to the side somewhere. Let's, like, send it to the back too, somewhere. Let's move it around. Let's move this around somewhere. I'm trying to learn more about using my EQs. So one thing I don't really, it's just I'm learning. I'm learning how to use EQ to move things around, like in the stereo field, and that is definitely a huge thing to learn. Now let's see. What if I took this and I said, okay, that's just like too much. And by the way, I cannot figure out a shortcut key to take everything and move it down an octave. And maybe, you know what? It's probably done on the hardware. I guarantee you it's done on the hardware. And I don't know what that is. Man, I wish. Okay, like, I'm going to try this right now. Hold on. Shift. Oh, I learned something new, which everyone out there probably knows already and says, duh. So I hit shift and then I hit the octave minus and it moved down. So you just can't do it in the software, which is annoying. So now I don't hear it. It's just blending too much in with everything. Let's see. Bring it up again. No. it's sort of got to be on the high end for me to hear it. Look at this. I'll do it again. Whoop. I don't know if I like it. All right, well, let me just turn it down a little lower for now. I think if it was elsewhere. So let's figure this out. And sometimes you just play around with things and really like you end up just scrapping the idea altogether. And that's okay. That's why it's fun. Just sort of living back there. It's not hurting anyone, right? All right, we're leaving it there. Getting rid of this pattern 1 because I'm not going to use it again, so I'll just rename this. All right, bass. All right, this is cool because this is what I'm going to do. I am not a bass player by any means, so I'm going to go over and use Captain. Captain, where are you? Captain Deep. And so what this does is you open this and it says, you know, hey, you have Captain Chords active because you have to have Captain Chords. It has to read to something. I'm going to say connect. So it connects and it knows what key I'm in. Like it just knows where to be. And from here, I can pick something out. So this rhythm, shape, octave, I mean, there's adding space between the hits, like, I mean, there's a million things you can change, right? So on here, you can, you know, do you just want it on the chord change measure, which is my chord change? How many notes on every beat? And then through here, there's like simple. You can change. Or complex. And I'll go back and I'll show you. Like this is changing right here. So that's streams. Actually, this is better to show you this way. So as I'm going to different things, the flavor is changing. And generally I just play around with this to see what fits, like what sounds good for a bass. Some things are just way too much. Like I sort of, when I hit on this Ibiza, however you say it, I like that. Seemed like it fit, right? All right, so from here, I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. So we're gonna click on this, and we're going to take the MIDI out of here, drop it here. And you could drop this on your desktop, but like I said, right now, because I'm using the screen capture program, I have all my desktop icons hidden, so it's just easier to do it this way. So let's name this. So we know what everything is. We'll move this over. This is our bass. Now we have to find a sound. So wait, we had some bass sounds in here, Magnetic Coast. So I'm just like, really, I'm using a lot of these massive presets because there's a lot of loops, there's a lot of one shots, right? I mean, there's a lot of other options in terms of like what you're gonna pick out. There's that's for bass, that's for synth, that's like, there's all kinds of cool stuff. There's a million and one ways to make a song. And once we get this bass in, we'll go over there and see if we can find any kind of like one shots or loops that fit into this and sound good. But let's see if we can pick a bass from here. And this bass I've already used. I like that, but it's a sub, so that's not necessarily going to work with the what I just put together for MIDI. Like, I think that would be too much for a sub. It's just not going to sound right. And I got to turn this off. Now that's, to me, sounds like too low. And it's just sort of like a, more like a staccato type of bass. What happens if I send it back down? See, that's too low. I'm not crazy about this bass, I gotta tell you. I use Trillion a lot by Spectrasonics, and it just has amazing bass sounds. But I want to try to use Magnetic Coast for this. That works better. All right, we're sticking with that. We're good with that. So right now we've got everything here for Magnetic Coast. All right, so let's go see if we can throw in like some little extras here. Oh, we need drums, right? All right, let's do drums. So again, I'm going to take them from Magnetic Coast. We'll go over here. We're going to find out what patterns we have. Magnetic Coast. There was so many good drum kits in here and patterns to work with. All right, let's see. So I load this up. I take out all this stuff because I'm not using any of that. And I actually go into the, let's, I was going to do something, but let me see if I like it first. So let's see. All right, there's something weird in here I don't like. What is the weird thing? All right, we'll keep this in one in mind. Let's see. Let's check a few others out. Let's check this one out. Take everything away. Take the keys away for sure. Is that the open hi-hat? I don't like that. Okay, I think we can do better still. Again, I'm trying to find a pattern that I feel like fits with this song. Gives me the vibe I want. So that I am not going to make a pattern. And you are going to say, well, that's so lazy. Well, you know what? It keeps me making music and I'm having fun. We're going to keep this one. That works. I feel like I can still do better. But for the sake... Oh, no, right? I got to do better. If I don't do better, I don't do better. That's the way it goes. But... try this one. All right. And you're right. Sometimes I spend time, trying to, maybe I should just make a pattern all the time I spend. And maybe I've used this one already. I have. And I think that's why I like it, right? All right. We're keeping it for the sake of this. But this is just fast tracking me, right, to get a song done. So after I get where I want to be, like I could come back here, I can switch out the kits, I can create my own new pattern. I could really just then concentrate on the drums. So see this more as like, this could even just be like a holding place. Like, okay, like I'm feeling the vibe now. Let's go complete the song. And then we're going to come back and we're going to spend more time and work on the drums. But let's go and let's play around and see if there's anything that we can put in here from the magnetic coast for the loops, the one shots, just really like, you know, see if there's anything we're vibing with. Let's make sure I'm sort of back where I want to be. And pluck strings? No. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to go back to my kit so I can show you what I do. So basically, when I'm on the kick, I'm just going to go into keyboard mode. I'm going to make sure that I put my drums into tune. So I'm going to go into keyboard mode, and then I'm going to go up to G major, so that now everything in my drums is in tune. And it's just a very slight difference, but you should hopefully be able to see it. It's more pronounced when you have subs in here, but just always a good thing to do. It really does change how it feels. And then even in this drum kit too, maybe I want to go in here as well. Within the drum kit, and I want to play with my groove a little. I mean, it's already up a little bit, but I mean, I could turn it up more. I could go into different pieces of the drum and move them off a little bit if they're, well, the kick is already off a little bit. I think that's a nice thing about Magnetic Coast. Like the drum patterns, like whoever did them put the time into making sure they're like more natural, more humanized. So it sounds good. Okay, so let's go here and let's see what we can find. See what. And so this is hard sometimes if you're not starting off with the sample. Like you're not necessarily gonna find something that fits what you got going on with your chords. So unless it's like a perk or something. Let's throw this perk in here somewhere. I'll actually take this. Oops. And I don't like this laser, so let's throw this in here. And we'll pan it to a side and we'll turn it down. See, and it like gives you texture right away. Pan it a little bit more, turn it down a little bit more. Just adding something like that gives you a nice texture. All right. So let's go in here. Let's actually look at one shots because I am getting there on time. God, this is at least a half hour, right, already? So let's see what we got in here. What's that? Let's load that up. Put it in keyboard mode. Fix velocity. Let's see what we got. Not feeling it. Sounds like a minor. Let's put this in here. Let's see, even if we put it in the beginning. Going on in the song already, so I feel like, you know, adding any of the things that are like, I mean, so these are nice because this is the kind of, once you start arranging it, this is the kind of that spices things up. Some of these noises spices things up as you switch from like a verse to a chorus to a verse, like just like something when you switch like this. So like I could throw something like this on at the end. Let's see, I don't know how many. I move it here. Move it here probably. What else can I add? And so these could, like, depending on what the set is of stuff, sometimes you can add, like, there's a C in ice cream, G in ice cream. There's a D in ice cream, right? That's everything I have except for the A minor. And like, so you could technically like add those in as your chords. Like even if you were creating from like the beginning, from the get, right? I could do something cool with that. There's just, the possibilities are endless, and there's so much in here. Lots of lasers. Keep finding those lasers. All right, these are all our one shots for our drums now. But there's a lot of effects here. If you're gonna buy an expansion, you cannot go wrong with this expansion. Just feel like it's really modern. It's really fresh. It covers a lot of just a lot of stuff that you're gonna want to have. I feel like I keep wanting to throw stuff into my perks. All right. All right. So we got some voices. Do I think any of these work? Let's see. And sometimes I'll call this group extras. I mean, at this point, I really feel like we're done. Fine-tune the drums like I was talking about. There's just have a lot of stuff going on already. See, these are fun to start out with these. But the way I came into this, I have enough. Let's see if I add this here. And I throw this as a one shot on the keyboard. The blip. But I got so much going on. Just trying to see if there's anything interesting that feels like a noise spectrum, like stereo with, like somewhere like I don't have something to add to the texture. Let's see. I hit a wrong key there. I didn't mean to hit. It's not working. Hold on. I gotta fix one of those. And then I got off. All right. What did I do? What did I do? Something's off. All right. In which case, let's find this right note here. That wasn't. And then I think just again here, and then this is. Hold on. Too much almost. use for a different part when I don't have the leads going, right? Or not. It's like, because it's a block, it's sort of... you can leave it or not have it. Anyway, this just shows you there are just so many ways you can make a song. And this is just one. And so after I would do this, I would go in and I would put just more special sauce on things, right? I mean, there's so many VSTs that give you a little bit something. So generally, especially in some of these leads, like here, do I have anything on this? No, so I'd probably go in and I'd put like some Valhalla, like maybe a little bit of delay on here. And it doesn't even have to be like a lot of it, right? Back off of it. But it just gives it something. So this is dry. Just like adds depth to it, right? Just a little bit of depth. And on here, my next, that's not the one I was talking about. I was talking about this one. All right, so we have speakerphone on there, so that's nice. What do we have on our pads? Nothing. That's the one that's like a little bit. They're really just like living in the background there. I could probably pull them up a little bit. But there's a lot going on in those too. It's not... Hey, maybe I put something on here. Put a little bit of reverb on here. Sends it to the back like a lot, right? Now it's just sort of happening somewhere far away. And maybe that's not necessary. All right, so that's it. You know, I don't make beats super quickly. I like this one. You know, a lot of times I make something, I have to come back to it after to be like, oh, do I really like this? And I might come back tomorrow and change things up again because I'm just like, yeah, that didn't sit so well. But I never spend too much time on something. I really only come back to it once, right? Only come back to it once. If you start spending too much time on changing your instruments, changing things, it just becomes a drain. It's not fun anymore. So like my whole take on it is like, do it, have fun, and move on. So with this, you know, it would be now figuring out the drums. Do I want to do more with the drums? Do I want to add different VSTs, like different sort of just sound effects to the various instruments, to do something different with them, to make them fit in the mix differently, to make them, you know, give them a little bit of their a unique flavor. And then you're going to basically gain stage, like figure out where everything fits here. And then I would export them that way and take them to Studio One or Ableton or another type of DAW that is a linear DAW after I arranged it. So after I fully arranged the beat, I'm going to take them somewhere else. And then maybe I'll add some other stuff like automation. I don't tend to do a lot of automation inside Maschine. Maybe that's because, again, need to get a little more comfortable with the hardware. And for all you saying, well, it's been 2 years, Blake, what's taking you so long? You know, you get stuck in your ways. We're all guilty of it. Whoopsie, didn't mean to do that. But regardless, I hope that it was fun watching this and you gained something from seeing inside of my process. This is pretty much how I do things a lot of the time. I don't always use mixed in key or Captain rather. I may use Scalar and start out that way. I don't always use Keyscape. I mean, Keyscape was just sort of something fun that we added to this, right? Because I wouldn't have been able to play this. I mean, maybe I'd draw it out, and so now we got something that adds a little something. So that's it. Thank you for joining me today. The links for everything are down below. If you want to go buy Maschine, if you want to go buy the Magnetic Coast expansion, go ahead and do it. And just as a reminder, like all this stuff was from all these sounds from Massive in the end were all from Magnetic Coast. Pretty nice sounds. The bass was from there. The kit was from there. The extras we were playing with. But beyond that, what I didn't do today, which I should possibly do another day, is start out making a beat with one of the loops that are or the one shots that are also included, because that is totally another way to start and get going and you don't have to think about maybe making your own melody, and you start with something maybe a little more complex or grittier, like the sound is just like different obviously if somebody's making a loop for you than if you did it yourself. But that's it. I'm out of here. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again soon.